Om Shanti. Today in the Murli, Baba is telling us that you are the mirror in which everyone who stands before you sees themselves. So what they see in themselves is also about you. Yes? And have you seen that you are and you behave differently when you are with different people? Yes, you are different with different people and you behave differently with different people. And why? Because the one I stand in front of also brings out something in me. But now Baba is teaching us to not be in a position where the other person is able to influence who you are and how you behave, but become that one who is influenced by Shiv Baba and is able to influence how other people see themselves and behave in your presence. Okay, so you become the influencer. So, these days people want to be influencers and they want to be influencers of a different kind, but they want to be influencers who influence other people to be very body conscious. And what do they do to do that? They act at the peak of body consciousness. So, every activity on the external is done perfectly. The look, the makeup, the dress, the hair. And then they want to influence others into being body conscious like them. And Baba says, what you do is, you be your spiritual best. And then you will be able to influence other people to be spiritually or soul conscious like you. And you will act like the mirror in which everyone will be able to see that they are a soul. And the beauty of a mirror is, a mirror can, so Baba gives an example of a distorted mirror, and somebody who is thin might look fat in a mirror which is not giving the right image. And Baba asks us to be the real mirror. So when you are in your reality, you are soul conscious, then you will be able to make the other person become soul conscious. And I will tell you one thing. When Brahma Baba used to give an introduction of the soul and the Supreme Soul to someone, it did not require 7 days or 9 days or 21 days. It required a moment. So you know how Baba used to give an introduction. He used to pull out a paper and draw the outline of a body and then place a dot in the center of the forehead and say, this is you. And in saying this much, that soul was convinced, this is me. Because the soul could see a reflection of who they are in the personality of Brahma Baba. And Baba's vibrations, Baba's spiritual stage help the soul see themselves as they are. And have you observed that there are some souls who are very badly behaved around you, or who are at their worst around you, and they are not as badly behaved around others. And why is that? Because you are holding out that mirror for them. So Baba says, when you are soul conscious, now what does being soul conscious mean? Soul conscious means when you're soul conscious, you are knowledgeful and loveful. Yes, knowledgeful and loveful. And now I'm talking about the slogan. And in the slogan, Baba says, if you apply everything that Baba says in practical life, then what you ultimately become is knowledgeful and loveful. Okay, so when you are applying everything that Baba says, what you become finally is knowledgeful and loveful. And when you are knowledgeful and loveful, that is in behavior, that is called being soul conscious. Now, what is knowledgeful? Knowledgeful, we got the knowledge of the soul, Baba, and drama. Yes? And if we internalize this whole knowledge, then how will it look like in action? So there are three things that Baba has told us, and these are the words from the last Murli that was spoken through Brahma Baba's mouth. And in that Murli, Baba told us how a knowledgeful soul would look like. And a knowledgeful soul will be Nirakari, Nirhankari and Nirvikari. Nirakari in the mind. Nirhankari means egoless in speech. And Nirvikari, viceless in action. So, a soul that is knowledgeful in their attitude, in their vision, they will only see themselves as a point of light and the person in front as a point of light. And then in their speech will be egoless and very uplifting in nature. Whenever they talk to somebody, it's not pointing their mistakes, it's not putting them down, it's words that uplift them and encourage them. Egoless words. When you are in ego, you are interested in comparing and complaining and criticizing. But when you are egoless, you only speak words that uplift the other, encourage the other. And in action, every action is pure. So whatever you do with the hands, whether it is doing some physical act, or give and take of money, or using your resources to do some work, everything is driven by purity, not by attachment or lust or greed. So that is Nirvikari in action. So all your time, wealth, energy is used up in a viceless way. And Baba says, such a soul is called knowledgeful. And then loveful. So when you're soul conscious, you're always loveful. Because when you see everyone as a soul and as Baba's child, you cannot dare to, have any other feeling for them. Can you have a feeling other than love for God's child? So when you remember this is God's child, the only feeling you have is love and respect. And how do we arrive at this place where I am knowledgeful and loveful all the time and act as a real mirror to others? How do I arrive at this state? If I just keep practicing, I'm knowledgeful, I'm loveful, I'm knowledgeful, I'm loveful, will I arrive at that place? Yes. So Baba says that you have to put every point that Baba gives you into practical application. Everything that Baba tells you has to be applied practically. So Baba is giving us directions about sleep, about waking up, about food, about a celibate lifestyle, about using your time, wealth, and energy for seva. So Baba says, when you do everything just like I tell you to do, then the ultimate product is you become knowledgeful and loveful. And do you know, sometimes what you do and what you become out of it are two very differently looking things. Yes? So when you put in dal, it comes out as sambar. Yes? So dal looks so different and ordinary, and then sambar is tasty to eat. But again, the main ingredient is dal, right? So all this perseverance, all this effort that you put in, when you just rub your eyes and wake up and then you're half sleepy, half awake, and making an attempt to sit straight, sometimes you don't understand how this will make you knowledgeful and loveful and soul conscious and change the world. And sometimes you feel that, I don't know if this is going to change the world. Right now I'm feeling very sleepy, so let me just focus on the sleep. But however indirect it may look, but whatever Baba is telling you is going to make you knowledgeful and loveful. And it's going to make you act like a mirror which brings out the best in others. And how do we know this? Because there are so many of our seniors who became perfect embodiments of knowledge and love, and who became a mirror for so many. Yes, and when I came into Gyan, I saw sisters who were born in a different country, in a foreign country. And I saw them wearing white saris and surrendering their life and eating pure food and meditating at 4 a.m. and doing seva. And then I was very confused about it, and I used to think, what is it that can drive a sister who is born in a different country, doesn't have the same religious or cultural background, to embrace all of this and so happily and so lovingly? So when I was reading today's blessing, I felt that if you are a perfect embodiment of what Baba is making you, then making anyone like you is not difficult. And all this seva, where souls who in this birth have been in different religions and nationalities and in different professions, have been able to get in touch with their spiritual reality, is because of those souls like Mama and Baba and Dadis, who became a perfect image of what knowledgeful and loveful means. And how did they become that? Just by doing as Baba said. They use their body, mind, and wealth, just like Baba said. They use their time and energy, just like Baba said. And when you just do as Baba says, you become knowledgeful and loveful, and you also become someone who is able to influence others to become like you. And I often give this example or this analogy where, even if you don't know how a medicine works, if you eat it, it cures you. And if you know everything about how medicine works, but you don't eat it, it cannot cure you. So, even if you logically understand Srimad, you understand the benefits of waking in time, sleeping in time, embracing purity, everything, but you don't do it, you cannot become knowledgeful and loveful. And even if you don't understand any logic of anything that you're doing, but you just do as Baba says. There are some souls who don't ask any questions. They just keep doing as Baba says. They become knowledgeful and loveful. And when they become knowledgeful, they are able to give the answers to questions which they never asked themselves. So Baba will make you a person who can give answers even without asking questions, if you just do as he says without questioning. And if you think intelligence lies in asking too many questions and not doing as Baba says, then you will always be the one who is asking questions, not the one who is giving answers. So Baba tells this thing to us, that how other people are, or what you make of them, is up to you. And it depends on your stage, and your stage will be created by doing as I say. And then in the Murli today, Baba says that you are godfatherly students. And Baba has always told us that when you remember Baba in 3 relationships: the father, the teacher, and the Satguru. 3 main relationships. And in today's Murli, Baba says that, so do you remember Baba as the father, teacher, and Satguru, or do you only remember Baba as a point of light? So sometimes, children have this thing that they only think of Baba as a point of light, and not knowing whether it's a bulb light or a laser light or what light, but just he's a light and I am a light and the light is connecting with the light. So Baba says, no, that my form is a point of light, but I am your father. I am your teacher. So when you see your Lokik teacher, the teacher of your body or the father of your body, they look like someone, right? They are a body, they look like a body. You can see the body, but you don't talk to the body, you talk to the teacher and the father. So you have the attitude that you are a student talking to the teacher. You are the child talking to the father. So Baba says, when you go to the soul world, you sit before me, you understand that I look like a point of light, you look like a point of light, but I am your father, you are the child. I am your teacher and you are the student. And when you think of yourself as a student, then you always remember your aim. Yes, what is the teacher teaching you to become? What is the father giving you as an inheritance? And Baba says, So, when we undertake the course, we are told that your aim is to become a deity. And Baba says, always remember yourself, your father, and your aim. But neither do we remember the father. Yes, we always remember the point of light. Seldom do we sit before Baba as a child sitting before a parent, or as a student sitting before a teacher. And Baba says, also keep in your awareness your aim. So do you always keep in awareness your aim that you are studying every day, you are remembering the Father, and ultimately you are going to become a deity? So do you remember your aim, that your aim is to become pure and go to a pure world? Think about these things, because we are told these things every day, but we don't keep it in our awareness. Yes, and Baba says that when you are meditating, when you sit in silence, then you have to sit before Baba and think that this is my teacher who is teaching me to make me a deity. And he's teaching me to be pure so that I become a master of the pure world. And all through the day, while conducting your business, while doing everything you do, don't forget your aim, that you are going to become a deity, and you have to keep your eye on being pure all day so that you can go to that pure world. Okay, so now in this moment, I want to make a distinction between goals and aims. So, in this mundane life, you will have many goals. Yes? So goals are there. There are short-term goals, there are medium-term goals, there are long-term goals. Yes? So like my goal is to take this class right now successfully. Correct? So for the next hour, I have another goal. For another hour, I have another goal. Maybe to finish cooking by 11 or finish doing something else by 12. That's my goal. So you will have many goals through the day. But your only aim is, ultimate aim is to be a deity. And how do you become a deity? When you have purity in thought, word, and action every second of the day. So even when you are focused on the goal, don't forget the aim. Yes, don't forget your Swaman, that I am the godfatherly student on this path of taking inheritance from Baba and taking a position of a deity from my teacher. And when you remember the spiritual aim while completing several goals, then your focus will always be on the purity of every thought, word, and action while you do what you're required to do. Yes, and I remember there was a time, and Baba says that always have this Swaman that I'm a student, and Baba says student life is the best life. And do you remember student life, how a student life is? And I remember there was a time when I was young, and I must have been in the 6th or 7th standard, and my mother was ill, and I had an exam, and I had to do all the cooking also. So, I was doing the cooking and I was preparing for the exam. But today, when I think about it, I was not burdened by it, because cooking was something I was doing on my mother's behalf. And I was not stressed about the cooking, I was only concerned about the exam. And she used to tell me, put 2 potatoes, I would put 2 potatoes. She would tell me, put this dal or rice, and I would do that. And then she would tell me, go and switch off the gas, I would do that. And she was stressed about me cooking, but I was not worried about it. I was not worried about how the meal turned out or the khichdi turned out. I was only interested in whether I was able to do my studies properly while doing that cooking. And the cooking was done on the side, and I was somebody who didn't know how to cook, but I cooked all three meals for 30 days. And along with that, I gave the exam or took the exam, however you put it. But during that whole phase, my whole focus was on the exam, not on anything else. And Baba says, this is the attitude that you need to have while going through life now. So you do everything. You do the job, you do the business, you cook, you do everything. But in all of that, you understand that you are doing it with Baba's help. Yes, Baba is the owner and you are an instrument. And with regard to your own spiritual effort, you take full responsibility. Yes, there you understand that this is my main responsibility, and everything else I can do with Baba's help. And my primary responsibility is to take care of my remembrance, my purity, my classes, my regular intake of Gyan, my Murli, my Manthan. That's my responsibility. And when you focus on this and do everything, considering yourself to be an instrument and with Baba's help, Baba says everything will be taken care of. And I tell you, even if something is not taken care of perfectly, even then you will go to heaven. So it doesn't matter. So, someday you are not able to cook 3 dishes, doesn't matter. You cook enough to eat, enough to fill your stomach, that's okay. Yes, even if you're not able to do very great business and not earn as much as, earn in a way that maximum of it is available in Vinash and wasted. You will earn enough to sustain yourself and the seva. So Baba says, just focus on your spiritual journey. And from my experience, I can tell you, when you focus on your spiritual journey, you have such peaceful state of mind, such good buddhi which discerns and decides accurately, and such divine sanskars that whatever you do in your mundane life will only be filled with success. Yes. And I don't know whether I should give you this example, but I'll anyway give this. So there was an incident when I was in office and I was late because I was in some seva. And I went late to that office that day. Okay, and I reached at 10 and there was somebody who came for an attendance check that day. So, just somebody on the rounds checking who has come in time or not come in time. This is a time I'm talking about before the biometric system, okay? So there was a physical check and there was somebody who came and noted down the names of those who were not present. And do you know, they saw me when they came, when I was not there. And when I reached late, I told someone that, oh my God, they must have noted my name and gone, and I will receive a memo, so let me go and talk to them. And when I went there and I wanted to ask them to strike my name out so that I don't receive a memo, I just reached there and they said that, did your friend come? So I said, my friend? So she said, that girl who sits beside you, that has she come to office now? So I said, no, she has not come. So they said, you send her when she comes so that I can record the time and then I can strike out her name. So I said, and mine? So they said, yours is already not there, na? You were there. So I said, okay, I was there, and I left. So this is one very interesting incident which happened. And up until now, I sometimes, think how many times, and this is not a one-off incident, there are so many times when Baba has taken care of the mundane responsibilities. Yes, not completely taken care of them, not like I have just told Baba, Baba, I won't go to the kitchen and you cook and eat, feed me, not that kind of a hypothetical situation, but Baba has filled in the gap many times. And some gaps that could not be filled, some gaps that just got left out because I was focused on seva or I was focused on something else. And everything that I have done in this journey with the focus on my spiritual development and seva has never put me in trouble. So this experience I am sharing with you because Baba says that always remember your primary responsibility, because you are a soul, you are primarily a soul, you're not a body. So your primary responsibility is to take care of yourself and pay attention to Gyan, Yog, Dharana and Seva. And when you do that, and when you focus on that and you do everything else, but that's not your primary focus, then everything else also will be taken care of, and you, the soul, will also go to your aim. Yes, reach your aim of being a deity. And another thing that Baba talks about today is, so Baba says that by constantly thinking about your aim, you children will experience happiness and make effort. So when you focus on your aim, you know you're going to become a deity, you are happy, and you are also making constant effort. And then Baba says, you will also remain pure in your thoughts, words, and deeds, and continue to give everyone the message of happiness. So what are the signs of a soul who focuses on their aim? So you are always pure in your thoughts, words, and deeds. And what I have discovered on this journey is we are very selfish people. And a soul cannot do anything for anyone else. And you need not do anything for anyone else. When you understand that whatever you do is for yourself, you are not forgiving anybody. When you are not lashing out on anybody, you are maintaining your purity. When you are staying peaceful when somebody is abusing you, you're not doing them a favor, you are doing your future stage a favor. So Baba says, never think that you're doing anything for anybody. If you are practicing what Baba says, if you are doing seva, it's all for yourself. Baba often in the Murli says, you are creating a kingdom to rule in that. So you want to be the king, you are creating a kingdom, you are doing seva for that. So never think that you are doing it for anyone else. And Baba says, when you understand that every thought, every word, and every action of yours is having an impact on your future stage, then you will be very interested in keeping it pure. Yes, always know whatever you are doing in the privacy of your mind, whatever words you are speaking and whatever actions you are doing, they have an impact on your future. Then you will be able to embrace purity very easily. And you know, sometimes students ask this question, how can I forgive somebody who abuses? How can I stay quiet in the face of somebody shouting? So the answer is forget that somebody, focus on yourself. It's not about them, it's about you. So when you understand that my thought, my word, and my action is creating my destiny, then you choose the right thing despite any obstacle that you're facing. And today Baba gives two examples. One is a situation of conflict. And Baba says, never be in a situation of conflict. And do you know what conflict does? When you are in conflict with a human being, that human being starts dancing in your buddhi. And then you are not able to focus on your actions. So don't come into conflict with anybody. And what is a conflict? A conflict is a situation when you start, this conversation inside your mind when you're playing characters and, answering them and talking to them in your mind, and you're trying to solve a situation inside when you can't do anything outside. So Baba says, no, just focus on your aim. Nobody is worth so much that you give up your purity and peace for them. So don't be in conflict. And another thing Baba says is, when you are in conflict, then sweet words, sweet behavior doesn't feel nice to you because you're so bitter inside. Yes? You are angry and shouting and somebody offers you water, you shout at them also. They are offering you water, why do you have to shout at them? But you have become so bitter inside, you cannot appreciate anything sweet. So Baba says, never come into conflict. If you understand that somebody is different from you, somebody is not towing the line, somebody is not behaving the way you want them to, you focus on the fact that it is more important for you to preserve your purity than bring them to terms with what you want them to do. Focus on your priority and don't get into conflict. Okay? And then Baba, another thing that Baba says is, don't give anybody the opportunity to put you into loss. Yes? And Baba says that, and I have often talked about this, that if somebody is trying to talk you out or influence you out of your disciplines, of following Shrimat, then you don't have to pay attention to them. Yes, you must know that when you leave your disciplines, when you miss Amrit Vela, when you don't sleep in time, when you don't pay attention to purity of food, when you watch something or hear something that's not good for you and it's vicious, then that is going to affect you. So Baba uses a word dhuti. So these are thugs and cheats. These are people who work for Maya, and they will try to talk you out, or they will try to influence you into leaving your path and not following Shrimat. And Baba says, beware of them. And don't become that one for somebody else also. And you also never become somebody who becomes an instrument to deviate somebody from the spiritual path. And you shouldn't allow anybody to do that to you. And Baba in the Murli today says that you must hate the vices. Baba says you dislike vices. So ask yourselves, what kind of relationship do you have with the vices? Yes, so people say that शादी वो लड्डू है जो खाए सो पछता है, जो ना खाए सो पछता है. Yes, so they have a bittersweet relationship with the vices. But Baba says you have clarity that शादी वो लड्डू है जो खाए सो पछता है. You dislike the vices. Okay, you have clarity that you totally dislike the vices. You don't have a confused relationship with the vices. So this is today's Murli.